Hey everybody, it's Toys of Arkham here. I am back with another review. This is a review of a 1/6 scale figure from a company called Portoys, and they have this line called the Artisan line, which obviously is the exact same name as the Hot Toys deluxe line, so I don't know why they chose that particular word, but anyway, here we see Blade Runner 2049 Deluxe Edition. This is the box, and the figure is Officer K. And I'm not going to talk about the box much. I'm just going to say from the outset, I'm a massive Blade Runner fan. Blade Runner, the first movie, is my favorite, closely followed by 2049, probably as my second favorite film ever. I collect the 1/6 scale figures, whatever is released. Usually I'll pick it up. And just by way of example, I'll show you some of my figures that I have here. Some of the collection. That's a Tomonosuke Blaster. Anybody who knows anything about Blade Runner collectibles will know that I'm serious about collecting by buying that, because that's very expensive. And we have some of the NECA figures and third-party figures that have been released. So there has been no officially licensed 1/6 scale figure from either Hot Toys or InArt yet, and NECA are the only ones to do officially licensed figures, and they're of course 7-inch figures. So I'm serious about Blade Runner, and I have a fair idea about what I'm talking about. So when I saw my good friend Dean Knight doing a review of this, I thought, you know what, I sort of owe it to myself to pick up this figure. And to be fair to Dean, he had made it look very impressive. And I suppose the reason for that is, in fairness to Dean, he is extremely good at customizing figures, and he's not afraid to turn his hand to these things and make them look their best. However, I'm not that type of person, and if I pay €500, which is what I had to do for this deluxe edition, I expect something close to perfection when I get it. Now, to be fair, I wasn't expecting perfection having seen Dean's video, but at the same time I was expecting something extremely impressive. And is it impressive? Let's go and find out. So, this is, I suppose, the best way you can have this figure looking. This is the second sculpt it comes with, which is the battle damaged look, and it has a very good likeness to the actor who plays Officer K, who is of course Ryan Gosling. This is a look of the Officer K character that I hadn't seen before, or had before in my collection. Sorry, I have seen some sort of version of this by a company called Superman Toys, and I'll get on to that in a second. But when I took all of this out of the box, was I blown away? Okay, so let's have a look first what we get in the box. So I have this, which is a replica badge. That's metal. It's very cool. Obviously, it's a 1-to-1 scale of his detective badge. Doesn't have a pin on the back to attach it to your clothes or anything. But so there's that. We have, I'm not even opening these. I've seen these in the reviews. These are boots. They're magnetic boots. They go onto this magnetic base, but they're identical. They're not more dirty or any difference at all to this one. Okay, so the idea is that you buy another body, which is on this one, and we'll talk about the body in a second, and you just make another one of these figures up. You use the same sweater that he wears, again no difference, and these pants that it comes with, again no difference that I can see to the ones that are on, not weathered at all. I think they expect you to do that because the second body, so as it comes out of the box, guys, it has this jacket, which is the clean version, and it is it's that classic jacket that of course we all love in the movie. And the one here that I have on in the cabinet here has the blood on the collar, whereas this one doesn't. So the figure, when it comes out of the box, has this jacket on it, and it has a head sculpt that does not have this blood battle damage on it. So we're going to move on to me having put the clean head of this figure onto the Super Mad Toys body. So let's have a look at that. Super Mad Toys, Ryan Gosling, Officer K with a different head sculpt. Now, as a 1/6 scale figure collector, I expect to buy 1/6 scale figures that are somewhat in line with the overall proportions of my other figures. The body on this figure is, it's not the way he was built in the movie. He's an athletic guy. This is more like a 1/6 scale 15-year-old boy in a cosplay. He doesn't have good proportions compared to other 1/6 scale figures. So I'm going to just show you what he's like with his arms down. It probably doesn't look too bad to you guys there, but in reality he actually doesn't have the same height. Look at this height difference, size difference, shoulder width. I tried putting this jacket onto this body, but the arms were too long and it was too tight. So you just can't put this on a standard 1/6 body. I think they're doing this purposely so that if you want to build a second figure, you have to buy the body off them, because you just can't put it onto a standard 1/6 scale body. And there's another catch to it. So it's magnetic, and so that has its own issues, which I'll get to in a second. But the head sculpt on this isn't bad. Is it 100%? No. Is it acceptable? Yeah, you'd know who it's supposed to be, but I'd say it's at about 80% of what it is. Now I have another 1/6 scale Ryan Gosling head sculpt. I'll show you it now. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I actually think that looks really like Ryan Gosling. Now, is the paint application great on this? No. But is the sculpt good? Yes, it is. I get it, this looks realistic, but does it look like Ryan Gosling? Please leave your comments. Let me know what you think. So back to this. Superman toys, a lot cheaper, probably about €200. I love this this particular figure. I'm just going to make him the centerpiece. I know I'm not reviewing him, but we'll have a look at the sculpt. Let's take him off that base. So let's have Superman Toys Officer K centerpiece here. That coat is the correct color as well. So you're paying €500 for a figure that has the wrong color coat, not quite the likeness, and also has a small body that won't necessarily fit in with your other 1/6 scale figures. This jacket has that kind of brown fur, and it has, see there, that loop up on the collar? That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it is in the movie. Whereas on the one that I've paid nearly €500 for, it doesn't have that. And he has a quite a narrow body. Like, he has no shoulders. The other thing as well is his legs are like, he's bow-legged. They're very straight leg, not much muscle on the leg like on the thigh or anything. I've heard people say that there are wires in this jacket. I don't know if there is, and the coat, should I say. So it's the wrong color. This is the right color, and this is grey. Now, I spoke at the outset of Dean Knight doing a great job customizing his, but he dyed his green, and you shouldn't have to do that. I mean, what if I even tried to do that? I could interfere with the blood work they've done on the fur, the overall, like, I just don't have the skill set he does, and I shouldn't have to do that. I spent €500. That's the other thing about these figures. €500 is a lot of money, and I am not getting sucked into this anymore. This sort of go with the flow aspect of it, and we all get sucked into it. I'm only going to get something that really impresses me, and I am happy I got this figure, I'm not going to lie. I'm a massive Blade Runner fan, so I feel like I have to have it in the collection, but it's a lot of money to be spending on something that isn't perfect. And in fairness, there are super figures out there at the moment that, even though they are that expensive, they do hit the nail on the head. I recently got the Hot Toys Bane 2.0, which absolutely hit the nail on the head. It was a stunning figure. But yeah, let's just focus on the good things. I suppose I'm going on a bit of a rant here. So I'm just going to say that this, from particular angles, is a beautiful head sculpt. It does look very realistic, to be fair to Portoys, but I don't think the likeness is 100%. And there is under certain lighting, a bit of a red tinge off the side of his head, and I've heard other people say that, and it's true. So I suspect that the sculpt underneath might have been maybe red, and they've painted over it, and then that red is coming through. Not sure. But if I was to say, if I was to be asked by any of you, would I recommend the Superman Toys one or the this Portoys Artisan figure, I would say wait, because Superman Toys are actually revising their Officer K figure, and they're doing an updated sculpt, and it really does look very good. I'd have a check onto their Instagram if I were you guys and see that, and it will be at least half the price of this Portoys one. So we'll get that out of the way. You've seen his head sculpt on the plain version now, because he's going to stay on that one for me, because I do like that body and I do like that look. So for me, I'm happy that at least I have this particular setup. His hand's too big though. I don't know, it just looks like he has a giant hand. Big Michael Jordan hands on him. Right, so we're going to go back to the actual product itself. And I know some of you are probably looking through the screen here saying, God, that looks amazing, it's spectacular. It is amazing, it is lovely, it's very nice, but it's the wrong colour coat, and the coat doesn't sit right, and the body's too small. The sculpt is very, very good, but do you want to pay €400 or €500 for a sculpt? The tailoring is pretty good, boots are pretty good. So this is a magnetic base. Base is nice. It has the official looking Blade Runner 2049, albeit that it's not an official product. I like the blaster. In terms of other accessories that this comes with, it has a bag full of little badges and a tiny little horse that is not 1/6 scale. I don't know why they bothered giving you that. And then they have the Deckard blaster in there. Not even bothering to open that. Now here's the real fun bit. This is hilarious, right? So you've got these gloved hands that I don't think I've ever seen him have in the movie. Maybe once or twice, but predominantly he has ungloved hands, okay? And then we've got these fisted glove hands. Great. And then there's 2 spaces in the box. Sorry, 3 or 4 spaces that were left with nothing in them. And then I have 1 of these hands. Now I thought to myself, oh my God, they're after leaving out at least 2 ungloved hands, because what's the use in having 1? You'd hardly have 1 ungloved, 1 gloved. Why would they bother giving you that? So I searched the box, and not a sign of it. So I got in touch with Portoys. Mr. Toys prefers to be called Poor, first name Poor. But sad jokes aside, unusual name. Um, he did get back to me, to be fair to him, and you know, poor form from Portoys, I'll say that much. So he confirmed to me that this is the standard post pre-order type product that is sent out. So in other words, if you pre-ordered, you get a gift of ungloved hands. So I was like, oh God, right, I don't have them. And my first thought was, well, look, I can just get other hands off some other figure I'm not using and I'll put them on it. But nope, that's not going to happen because these are magnetic. So I wasn't, I wasn't able to find any kind of hands that just had magnets in them. So, and even if you can find them, they're the in art ones, or maybe, yeah, that would say they are in art ones, which are quite narrow and they're probably off Joker or something. But anyway, I got in touch with Portoys again. I said, listen, well, can I buy these off you? Can I get a couple of hands? Now, yes, said Mr. Toys. However, they are €80 each. I'm not joking. €80 each. I was like, that is ridiculous. So if you want to buy this now and you want a pair of ungloved hands, you either pay 80 for another one, or for a pair, obviously 160. So it's a joke, and God only knows what they would charge for the body that comes with this. And I'm convinced that this was all premeditated. This is all part of their way of making money, because you can't get a standard body to fit this coat. This is a very unique body. As I said, it's a little bit shorter, a little bit narrower, the clothes are tailored to it, so you'd find it very hard to find an ordinary body to to do a second figure to make him look like he is in that entirely clean look. So I'd say the body, God only knows how much that costs, and then more arms. You must have to spend about €300-400 to get a Portoys body and hands to build the second outfit for this guy, if you want two figures, which is an absolute rip-off. I know I'm complaining a lot, but it is ridiculous. So as I said, this coat should have been up like that. It should be higher. In fairness to D Knight, again, he's done that, but I expect to be seeing that when I get it out of the box. This is not acceptable. But on a positive, I love this head sculpt. I do love this look. He is going to look like this in my collection, and I'm delighted. I will tweak this. I'll try and make some improvements on it. It is an impressive figure if you know you're not as fussy and finicky as I am about this particular franchise and Blade Runner. But I think I'm within my rights to criticize this when I know that I've paid so much for it, so I expect a better figure. It does look beautiful though. In that particular pose there, you can see the writing down the back of the jacket, which is accurate to the movie. It's funny, I love that jacket so much, I actually tracked down a really good replica of it for myself. So a full-size one off Etsy, and for less money I could have had the real coat than what I paid for this. That's something else. Now, if some of you are looking at this video and saying, what is he complaining about? That is absolutely stunning. I wish I had that in my collection. I understand where you're coming from, and to a large degree, you know, this is first world problems, and what am I complaining about? this is minor issues, because I've felt like that myself when I'm watching people reviewing reviewing figures, and they're complaining and moaning, and I'm thinking of how far we've come from where we were, and I don't understand the criticism some of these things get. But I just am particularly passionate about this franchise, and I'm also passionate about not getting completely ripped off. But what they've carried off well here is this wet look as well to the face, and this obviously at the end was when he was lying back, the snow and the rain coming down on his face. And technically speaking, this actual look to match his face, the rest of his body should have sea salt stains on his coat and jacket, and also maybe a sort of a wet look to it, so it should really look battered and wrecked, this jacket, at this stage of the movie. So again, I don't know if I'm brave enough to do it, but I might just kind of rub some like chalk and stuff around it and make it look a bit more weathered, and I don't know, I'll see. It is the downside to this customizing things is that if you ever decide to change direction with the character you have and say, right, I want to get the newer version, I want to sell this, some people, if they see that you've tampered with it, just the value of it just plummets, you know, especially if you don't have the skills and you make a bit of a mess of it. So I know it's rare that I'd buy anything that has been tampered with and customized, so you know, I try to see it through my own eyes in that respect. Yeah. Because all these moments will be lost in time like tears in the rain. Different movie, of course, but same franchise. Yeah, so I don't have much else to say. This is the highlight. This look is the highlight of the set. So if you're willing, if you're a big fan of Blade Runner and you are willing to pay what I've paid here, because I don't think you'll get it for any less, you will be able to have this guy in your collection, looking like that, which is really cool. And then if you have the Superman Toys one, you can have him also with this head on. I think I might have used a bit of blue tack or something, and that look is cool as well. It's really good. I'm sorry, I also have to mess around with the jacket. This particular jacket is it's bigger, it's not as tailored, sorry, it's not as tailored as well, but in other ways it's better because it's the right color. But keep an eye out for Superman Toys and their new release. I'll probably get it. I just love the franchise that much. I have actually reviewed that figure on its own on the channel if you want to check it out, and it comes with a different head sculpt obviously to this one or the one that I showed you earlier. It's not good at all, so just hang on for the new release. But that's all I've got to say. Just be careful buying this. Try get the one that has the hands in the box, because I actually now can't even use the ungloved hand because I don't have the other one to match it. It just looks stupid. I don't know why they did that. Ripping us off. Ridiculous. Poor form from Portoys. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Have a great day, and if you want to comment, please share your views on this. I'm really interested in this franchise. Really want to hear what people have to say about this, because there's only really a few people in the entire world who'd be interested in this product. So please, if you think I'm being overcritical, or if you think some of my criticism is just unwarranted, or maybe you agree with me, whatever, just tell me, let me know. I really do want to hear from you. And maybe you might consider subscribing if you haven't before, because anything to do with Blade Runner, figures and collectibles I will be covering from here on out, because that's my thing. I do love Blade Runner, even though the name of my channel would suggest I'm a Batman fan, which I am, but I do love Blade Runner, Alien, Terminator, Predator, all that stuff. 80s baby. All right, I will talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye bye.